with Professor Frimpong. What remember some months ago there was a report that leaked into the system purported to have come from him. He has subsequently confirmed that indeed he authored that report. So in a bit we'll go to the various angles around this story. But let me take you to another story that developed this week to do with textbooks and laptops. So the Daily Graphic says new curricular implementation give us textbooks. Educational heads cry out to GES. Ministry moves to resolve challenge. Daily Graphic says laptops with inbuilt learning materials don't abolish hard copy textbooks, publishers propose. Still on that, City Newsroom, laptops cannot replace textbooks, CSOS to government. And still on that, myjoyonline.com, our priority should be on providing textbooks instead of tablets. Professor Owusu speaking over there. Now, we'll move away from that and bring you another story that is still developing to do with the anthrax outbreak in the Upper East region. One person feared death so far, about 13 people infected and some death reported among goats and other animals. So let's see how that story has been reported so far. Daily Graphic says anthrax rears ugly head, kills one in Upper East region. Ghanaian Times, outbreak of anthrax, Mofa bans movement of animals within Binduri. The finder says anthrax outbreak, slaughtering of ruminants banned. Daybreak, anthrax outbreak in Upper East. City Newsroom says anthrax outbreak, vaccination of animals in Upper East starts today. And still with City Newsroom, FDA collaborating with state agencies to safeguard consumers from anthrax. So those are some angles from anthrax. Let's move away and go to the Asin North constituency. The upcoming elections will soon happen, but the MPP has chosen the gentleman they want to lead the party there for that election. So let's see. Daily Guide, Berger MP not qualified to contest Supreme Court, speaking over there. Ghanaian Times, NPP elects Charles Opoku as parliamentary candidate for Asin North by-election. The Chronicle says trial for perjury et al. I don't care a hoot, it's just bullying. Jachikwe Sin tells constituents. The New Crusading Guide, Jachikwe Sin rejected as Asin North indigents kick against his candidature. Still with this story, City Newsroom, Bagbin seeks clarity from Supreme Court over Jachikwe Sin's ruling. And still with City Newsroom, NDC calls for financial support to retain Asin North seat. We'll wrap up with another sad story to do with a barber that allegedly killed his SHS girlfriend. That is still developing. Two people are. The barber in question is still on the run. How some media reported that story. The new publisher SHS killed. Police suspect boyfriend. Republic Press, SHS girl stabbed to death by barber boyfriend. ABC News, two friends of Baba who allegedly killed SHS girl at Achim in Sotam picked up. And then finally, with City Newsroom, police pick up friends of Baba who allegedly killed girlfriend at Achim in Sotam. So those are some of the big stories for the week. Let me introduce my guest today that will help me look at the various angles around these stories and how they may pan out as we go along for next week. I have with me Selim Adonu. He's here with us at City FM and City TV. Selim, welcome.
Thank you, Vivian.
And then I have with me another gentleman who has been away from us for a bit, and he has returned today. So, Larry Alansdogbe, managing editor for the Herald. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Where have you been hiding?
I've been around.
You've been around?
Yeah.
Writing. What have been your big stories for the past 2 months?
I think it's been the bribery that went on as far as there's GMPC matter.
I think you broke that story.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
With the Herald.
The bribery.
The bribery.
It was bribery.
Alleged bribery.
Alleged
It wasn't.
bribery.
Listen, I mean, when you listen to the conversations between myself and the people involved, one mentioned that, listen, they brought the money and I chopped it. He even mentioned the word bribery. I don't know why the media is not taking it up. It's as though there is a certain, standard for politicians, and then there's another for journalists and other members of civil society.
Not really. I mean, I think one would need to prove that. You have that proof, but not everybody has that proof. Maybe until.
I mean, I'm sure if it had been a politician somewhere, the media, journalists would be rushing to want to.
Well, I mean, you have the platform, so you can use it to ensure that, let me quickly announce the phone lines. You can join us in these conversations that we're going to have. Our WhatsApp line is 020-444-7033. 020-444-7033. We'll put that on our screens in a bit, and you can send us your thoughts or questions around our discussions. Gentlemen, I want us to start with Professor Frimpong Boateng. That story has popped up again because, of course, yesterday there were reports that he had been arrested indeed over the report he did and other issues around that, and he had subsequently been granted bail of some 2 million Ghana cedis. A bit interesting development over there. Of course, that was being effected by the special prosecutor and all that. Alan, I'll start with you on when you saw that, that news popping up, your initial reactions to and the thoughts that went through your mind over that development, considering the fact that a few months ago we saw the report he had done to the presidency pop up in the public domain. That report, I don't think he put it out there. He sent it to the presidency. It found its way, of course, to us. And then prior to that, there have been some, case being investigated by the special prosecutor to do with Mr. Bisu and all that. And this is rather an interesting angle to that because people think he is a whistleblower and don't see the connection in terms of the interrogation and the arrest and subsequently the bill. But your initial thoughts around that?
Well, good evening to our viewers. First of all, I was shocked when I saw the publication that he has been arrested and then he was granted bail and all that. So I decided to follow up and then see what exactly had happened. And my information is that he was invited about a month or so ago and he was told to come with his lawyer. And then he came. And the interaction, he was told as to what exactly the special prosecutor was looking for. And subsequently, he was granted, he was made to write his caution statement. And after that, he was given, what do you call it? He was bailed. Now, I was shocked about the timing.
Why so?
Because, this thing has been, I think information around this is so scanty. You get it? First of all, Prof went on TV, I think GTV, and made a statement regarding Galamsey. And thereafter, then the presidency issued a statement. And then said that, the police CID should step in, invite him and all that. Along the line, then came a statement from was it the special prosecutor around the time? Okay. And not long after, his report went public as to what he identified, and then mentioning names, of people who he said were involved in Galamsey.
Yeah.
Some came, and these are senior government officials, some way into the presidency and all that. So everybody was like, no, I mean, this whole thing looks a bit, interesting. Along the line, I think came another statement or so from the special prosecutor again, saying that, oh, he's been investigating this matter sometime since last October, and that he had even issued a statement regarding it. I think that the special prosecutor is allowing the politicians to control the narrative around this whole thing. Okay, if they had kept us updated as to, okay, this is the state of the investigation, who has been arrested, who is supposed to be arrested, who has been invited, and all that and all that and all that, I'm sure they will be able to carry all of us along. Then nobody will be able to be out there trying to control the narrative. As of now, Prof is controlling the narrative. And if we are all worried as a country about the menace of Galamsey, then we should all be carried along by all investigative bodies, okay, such that we get to know the truth about all this. What I'm picking up is also that, I mean, this particular investigation that is happening had nothing to do with his report, but it has more to do with his role as the chairman of the ministerial committee, and then the missing excavators, and then apparently some gold bars were also seized during that whole operation, and some of those gold bars had gotten missing. Okay, and many other side issues that the special, prosecutor.
So if you guys will permit me, I will quickly read a statement from the special prosecutor, which was on 2nd May of this year, telling us about what their update on the illegal mining thing. And it says, on October 10, 2022, the Office of the Special Prosecutor published that it had commenced investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of illegal mining. It was stated that the investigation targeted the activities and expenditure of the dissolved Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, especially in respect of the seizure and management of excavators, machinery, road vehicles, and gold nuggets, and officials of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the Forestry Commission, and other public officials and private persons. The OSP acknowledges the recent calls for action and investigations into these matters by the public and civil society following the publication of a report on parts of these matters authored by former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation and the head of the dissolved IMCIM. The OSP welcomes the call for action and investigations and assures the public and civil society that its investigations is ongoing and far-reaching, and it also covers the matters raised in the report published by the head of the dissolved IMCIM. The OSP will take necessary action against all persons deemed culpable of corruption and corruption-related offenses in the mining sector. So I think they actually informed us of what they were doing. One, around the activities.
What's the date on this?
This is 2nd May 2023. So last month.
Last month, okay.
Well, I didn't see this statement last month, but it popped up during this week's discussions around
his arrest and all that. Exactly. So, and I'm saying that he was invited about a month ago, okay? And so everybody, the special prosecutor is aware, people around that area are aware. But how about the rest of the public? We are not, okay? And so the absence of information.
But must they tell us every move they make every second with regards to this?
Yes, you see, you are dealing with people who are able. Let me digress a bit. Ghanaians love victims. Okay, all you need to do is to run to a police station, okay, and cry that, oh, Larry has assaulted me. And, people will, exactly, and people will storm my house why not to arrest me. By the time they get to know the truth, that you were actually what's the word? Assailant, okay? That you're the one who assaulted me. I mean, the truth will be buried. Do you understand? So, dealing with, this is corruption. This is a public office. I mean, you want to be as transparent as possible. You want to avoid a situation where people you are investigating will go out there crying victim. So carry everybody along. If we are, you know, minded by the destruction of our water bodies, the fact that, you know, even our water these days is not wholesome for consumption. Ghana Water would have to use more chemicals here and there. So we need as much as possible to keep the doors open as much as possible.
Okay.
Okay. And mind you, we are dealing with a presidency that is being accused or being branded of, you know, clearing the other. Informed about it.
Up with our they've done a good job in terms of giving out the information to manage this case, which is of interest to most Ghanaians.
I think it's work in progress. I think we've now of some really trying to make publications like we saw. I mean, the statement you just read. So I think that's an improvement on what other institutions. So even though a lot more keeping us not so informed on this Frimpong Boateng matter, because there was a maybe what we expected 16, that is after the invitation, you know. So I think telling us that they spoke to Frimpong Boateng, right? I think what they are doing is actually the right thing to do. Public service is a serious business. Public service is a privilege. Public service is a position of stewardship. So if you have the privilege of serving, expectations you must have is that you could be probed or you are expected to be lawyer of choice. He went to 2 lawyers, and I'm sure his lawyers advised him that given the nature and the workings of the Special Prosecutor's Office, you could be arrested, and so you must make preparation for your bail. That is why he said he went with a friend, and he didn't just go with a friend of straw. He went with a friend of means, because he said to see his house, etc. That was investigating the surety. And he said that the bail bond was 2 million.
2 million, yeah.
You don't just, not everybody is worth 2 million. You don't get a lot of people worth 2 million walking around. So he went obviously with somebody of means because he expected that this would happen.
Yeah.
So when it so happened, you have to be granted bail or admitted to bail, surety, etc. So okay, I have a friend outside who is waiting because he was prepared. He went with a friend to see. They went with a friend to see the house, etc. That was done. He was released. I think we need to commend the Office of the Special Prosecutor in the sense that we've seen similar investigations or probes undertaken by National Security or BNI or agencies like that, and the stories we hear are not correct. At least I've not heard Frimpong Boateng say that he was molested. He was not. I mean, his lawyers were not granted access to him, and all those funny stories we hear. I think they acted professionally. I also think that so he was prepared for the bail. I don't think they did anything wrong. However, we are discussing this because of a number of factors. One, because of the pedigree of Frimpong Boateng, very respected person. His stature in the society is super. His delivery or his work in the health sector stellar. All right. So it is so unfortunate that such a man who is giving his all to the service of his people is having to go through things like this. What I won't want is a situation where it will appear to people as if he's being witch-hunted. If there's a
but that's what it appears to be popping out around.
But it's important that the narrative is corrected. Who corrects the narrative? The OSP must correct the narrative, and we must all understand what is happening. So I understand DCU is being BC was also invited. He did not go because he wants to use a different route to fight his case.
Yeah.
He's spoken to his lawyers. His lawyers have sued the OSP,
the OSP.
and a whole lot is happening. But what a lot of people haven't spoken about is that the OSP actually gone ahead to secure an arrest warrant for him.
For BCU.
For BCU.
Yeah.
That is more serious. An arrest warrant is being secured for him. So if they get him, they will arrest him. And I don't know whether they will grant him bail easily because it would have been difficult getting him.
Yeah.
So one of the conditions of granting bail is that you are not a flight risk or you are not difficult to find. But in this case, he's been difficult to find. He is not responding for him. So I don't know whether his bail situation will be as easy as Prof's. So how do you compare the two? Nobody's talking about Charles BC, but we are talking about Professor Frimpong Boateng because of the respect he has in society.
Yeah.
What is also important is that the special prosecutor should be swift in his work. There were a number of people named in the report. And there were a number of people whose names also came up during all these excavator things. We need to see them move quickly. Perhaps they are starting from the top. And you know, I think the probe is good for Frimpong Boateng himself. I love Frimpong Boateng. It's good for him because a lot of things were said about him in the last regime. Stolen excavators, flying excavators, party here, his son was involved, all of that. If he submits himself to this probe, which he will do, it will unravel a lot of things. And indeed, he was asked whether he felt under siege or targeted. And he alluded somewhat to that.
Yeah.
And there's a number of suits coming at him. And he said that people will be sorry. He's ready. So the probe will give him the opportunity he's always wanted to speak.
He's not afraid of prosecution.
And he should not be afraid of prosecution. A clean man or a good man should not be afraid of prosecution, as far as that is fair. And I have no reason to believe that the office of the special prosecutor will not be fair to him. Yeah. So I am interested in this, and I'm happy it's happening. I only pray that it will be fair. And from what Boateng himself should be happy it's happening because it gives him an opportunity to say what he has to say before a relatively fairer panel. A panel that has a mandate to be independent and do the kind of work he's doing. And I'm not sure Kiseh Jabin, with all he's done in his life, in his young life, will want to be used by whoever to dent the good old professor. It will not be good for him because the professor's pedigree will speak for him if we realize or recognize that something untoward is happening to him. A number of people have sued him. Gada Sarah-Chudakwa has sued him for defamation. John Ofurata, I understand, is also sued him, the National Security Coordinator in the Central Region. And I understand Captain Koda has also sued him. These names have come up in the report. And you should expect things like that. So this is a man who is under a lot of fire and a lot of pressure. We don't have to add to the stress by creating the impression as if, you know, he's being targeted or... I think it's a good process.
Well, you're the lawyer, so we clarify and people understand the process and what goes into these kind of decisions by the likes of OSP and security agencies and all that. What is the process in things like this? Is this out of place what we are seeing?
It's not out of place. The OSP, like many other institutions that have investigative powers, will invite you. They will invite you for a number of reasons, 2 or 3 reasons. If something happens and they feel that you can assist them in investigating, you're a person of interest, they have to speak to you. So they will invite you. They have to invite you. They will invite you. You come, they talk to you. In the process of the conversation, they realize that you are beyond a mere person of interest in terms of information gathering, etc. They will have to let you know that, you know, you've been upgraded. I mean, we are now interested in you. You will be arrested or you've been arrested. They couldn't have told for mobile from wherever that, come, we have arrested you, know. They will surely invite you. And he said when he got there, he was told that he was under arrest. And he was with his lawyers. So you could expect that the right things would be done. Unfortunately, you know, I'm sure the right things were done. The Office of the Special Prosecutor draws its powers from Article 88 of the Constitution. Article 88 of the Constitution gives powers to the Attorney General. And it's part of the reasons why, you know, in those early stages, the independence of the office, etc., was coming up, because Attorney General is an appointee of the government, of the president, who holds executive power. So the thinking is, if he gives you some of his power, how independent could he be? I think we've scaled that. Now, I think Section 28 also of the Office of the Special Prosecutors Act talks about, you know, how the prosecutor works. He has powers as the police service has under the Criminal Procedure Act, Act 30. What are those powers? The power of arrest, power to detain, and power to investigate. And that is what he is doing.
Okay.
In fact, he's not been detained. He was only arrested and granted bail.
Okay.
So I think it's in the normal process of things.
Okay.
And we should actually commend both sides that they've been civil. Frimpong Boateng is saying the right things. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, I mean, we expect them to talk more. But you cannot expect them to say so many things. In fact, Frimpong Boateng himself was careful about things he was saying. And some of the things that he didn't even remember.
Yeah.
You can't expect the Office of the Special to come and tell you every single thing. It may prejudice the work they are doing. Of course, we need to know what the scope of work is. We are not even entitled to know. We'll be happy to know. The report, was it part of the discussion or not? Yes, they came back to say in the May 2 discussion that yes,
it was.
People are, so yes, it's part of it. And I'll be surprised if they get him, they question him on many things and leave out issues of the report. I expect bigger names to come up because some bigger names were mentioned. Journalists, etc. I expect all those names to come out and all those people should be invited and they should be dealt with. This is what we expect really.
Okay, I'll take a quick break. When I come back, I'll let you respond, Alan, and probably see whether other people who were prominent in that report and apart from Mr. Bisu that they're trying to arrest have also been invited, because the question also that is popping up is why are those others not also have been interrogated and all that. But I need to take a quick break, and so when I come back, I'll allow you to answer and then respond to probably some of Selom's assertions. It's what the papers are saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. I'm here with Selom Adono as well as Larry Allans Dogbe. When we come back, we'll take some of your questions, as your messages that you've sent to us, and then look at other matters. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you're a whiz kid that collects straight A's in your sleep, a brainy brains that aces quizzes without even trying, or a clever clogs that knows just about everything, then there's one more battle you have to win: the Literacy Challenge. The nationwide search for the best junior high student is on. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, the following statement: the happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July 2023 in mind. Submissions must include an endorsement by a parent or guardian and their full contact details. And once you're done, shoot off your entries to the front desk of City TV or City FM. Or you can send entries to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by City TV, supported by City FM, and is sponsored by the Ghana National Gas Company and Ribby Crunchy Biscuits by M4 Foods.
Welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our conversation. We are currently looking at some fallouts from the Professor Frimpong Boateng Galamsey report. We're told this week that he was arrested, subsequently granted bail around his report and other matters to do with the fight against illegal mining. And so far, Selom has raised some interesting points, taking us through what the process is in cases like this in terms of the law, in terms of arresting and all that. Alan, you wanted to respond to some of the...
No, essentially I wanted to get I wanted a certain, what you call it? A certain answer, response. What must he be arrested before an investigation commences?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. So I'm sure that could just be, where, he's rushed into the media to say that, listen, I have been arrested. If this whole thing had been that, listen, assist us with investigation, you have been invited to assist us with the investigation, I think it would have been cool. And then you wait until you've spoken to all the parties involved before you even, on the last day the man comes, you say that, listen, Vivian, you have been arrested. Salom, you have been arrested. So and so, you have been arrested. Do you get it? So it doesn't become just him alone, but there are others involved. We know how the FBI and, Scotland Yard and many, the international,
agencies operate.
Exactly, operate. And so they don't get selective and allow the person to step out, and then eventually he goes out there to say that, listen, I have a report, and I have mentioned names of government officials, okay, and that here I am, I'm being victimized. I think the process now, or the route that the special prosecutor has taken with this particular one, allows him to go out there, or allows everybody to go out there to say that,
listen, victim.
Exactly.
But
that is not what we want.
Yeah, but apart from him and Bisu that they are looking to arrest, do we know any others who so far have been interrogated or arrested?
I'm told 2 others have also been arrested. I'm trying to assess their names that I'm not getting. 2 others have been arrested.
The tall list of names that were mentioned.
No, but this is not from the report. I think this is from the
other.
Yeah, the other. The investigation that started before the emergence of the report. So I'm told that, I don't know whether it's a Kowewusi or, the people who were in that meeting where it was said that Petty Hiensika.
Because, the third May statement the special prosecutor released, it said that apart from that issue, Professor Frimpong Boateng's report too, they were looking at that. And there were many names mentioned in the report. And I think that's where some people are like, why you have that tall list? And then the first one, and so far we know of just 3 people who have been.
Yeah, so
and because just a moment, and it's because we are hearing about BCU's bench warrant or warrant because Professor Frimpong Boateng has stepped out with this information that he's been arrested. So quickly, somebody had to, throw something in that, hey, you know what? He's not the only one who has been arrested, and now we are having, hunting for Bisu. We don't have to wait to get to this point.
Yes, I get a point about getting the public informed every time.
Yeah.
But I think they know how to do their work, right? I'm not saying they don't. We want information.
Yeah.
But they also have a job to do. Maybe they have a strategy, they have a plan. Maybe they've not finished dealing with Frimpong Boateng, or maybe they were about releasing a statement when it came out. I doubt. I don't know. A lot of other people may have been spoken to. Now you are telling me about some 2 or 3 extra people. Before I entered the studio, I didn't know that. But not everybody will come out the way Professor Frimpong Boateng did.
And mind you, Professor Frimpong Boateng also got a call. Was he arrested? Do you recall that?
At the time, yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot really going on.
Yeah.
I understand the journalist involved, the one whose account was used for the transaction and all of that. All those guys have been penned down.
With the excavator. That has to do with the excavators.
Yes, all these guys have been penned down. They've been spoken to, or they'll be spoken to.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. It's a long, slow process. I trust that the office of the special prosecutor will do the right thing. Professor Frimpong Boateng will also do the right thing. What we also don't know is that, or may not know, is that a lot of people might have given the office of the special prosecutor some information. Recall when the Frimpong Boateng report came out, a lot of us said, but this report appears to be one-sided. It is just about what other people have done. You yourself, the things you've been accused of, no response on those.
The involvement of his son,
etc.
Yeah.
People who might have been aggrieved by the way he led the committee, or people in the genuine interest of justice, might have provided the office of the special prosecutor some information too.
Yeah.
The special prosecutor may not come out to say all of that. Before an investigative body begins inviting people, you should be rest assured that they have some information. They just need confirmation too. They should have some information they are ready to build something on. So when they get to, they can decide what to do within the confines of the law. In the case of Frimpong Boateng, they felt it was necessary to arrest him so that he will be on bail. When you're on bail, there are implications of what you can do and what you cannot do. He's on bail. Before he travels out of the country, the state must be aware. So he cannot just travel. There are a number of things that should happen. And so they felt that it was important to put him in
Don't
that situation.
Don't we stand the risk of him, coiling and refusing to cooperate?
But how will he refuse to cooperate?
Well,
I mean, we know that, listen, you don't want to incriminate yourself.
No, I think it is in his interest
to do so.
Yeah. He spent so much time, effort.
To open up, you mean?
Even in his career as a public servant, building the National Thoracic Center or the Cardio Center, doing all of that, sacrificing maybe what others may call a better life somewhere else to come into the trenches, suffering political persecution, etc. He claims to do this. It will be too costly for him to say that he won't cooperate. Perhaps that the flying. I think.
Why did you use the word he claims?
But I think
it's a good process for him.
Yeah, and I think with the interviews he's granted so far, he wants to clear.
Yes.
He wants to go.
And he said those people who have
throttle.
sued him
Yeah.
will be sorry.
Yeah.
Because they are suing for defamation.
Yeah.
And if the thing you did it, one of the justifications or defenses for defamation is truth.
Yeah.
Or fair comment or things like that. And he thinks they are true. He will provide
the evidence.
So we will see in the end who has been good. And I think it is good for him that this process is going on. It is his job, and it will be in the interest of his reputation to cooperate, speak, and get the matters out so that it will be quick and he will clean himself or he will cleanse himself before it's too late. It's not in his interest for this to be dragging.
Okay, let me take a lot of messages coming around this. This one says, seriously, I don't see anything good for that the good old professor to have written that report in the first place. Well, that's what you feel.
I disagree with that.
I agree too. Prince Henrik of Radio, good evening, City TV. Fighting galamsey and corruption under the MPP government is the most difficult and expensive work. All the good people who have the goodwill to fight galamsey and corruption under this government are being fought back by the government. Proverbs 29:2, you quote. Tell him, do you know Proverbs 29 was there? He's using it to support his statement.
Why didn't you ask me?
Do you know what
I'm a product of Sunday school. But you carry on.
Galamsey and corruption are really defeated Nanado-led MPP government willfully. The future is pregnant, you say, hashtag, while the papers are saying. This is Prince Henrik of Radio. Emmanuel Jasa Asenfosu says, I'm saddened the country is heading into. People with nationalistic and patriotic zeal have always become victims of hatred, maligning and politically motivated prosecutions. Ironically, this is happening under the stewardship of a man we trusted to sanitize the system. The future is bleak, you say. Baba Wala says, good evening. In even the case of the death of one's child, the parents are first suspects if murder is alleged. So I see nothing wrong if Frimpong Boateng is arrested and if there's any suspicion of corruption-related cases with his committee. Arrests are constitutional means of dealing with cases so long as he wasn't manhandled, you say. This one says, this is why the office is called Special Prosecutor. He's used by the executive. Okay, I'm not sure this is necessary. This one says, hi Vivian, a rather long one. I'll try and cut it short. It is unfortunate Professor Frimpong Boateng should be commended for helping to right the wrongs. All over the world, mining is carried out only after prospecting. There's nowhere in the world where mineral agencies offer prospecting license and the holders of these licenses go and use excavators to mine, except Ghana and some few other African countries. This is wrong. Mining agencies give prospecting licenses first to people to search for gold. So you go around and talk about the galamsey and all that. This is TK Obriyabwa, mining engineering consultant, Johannesburg, South Africa. It's a pretty long one, so I would end it there. This one says, why are we deceiving ourselves that we are fighting galamsey when in reality we are not? And this one says, the MPP has simply been too harsh with Gyakye Quayson, and I will be surprised if the constituents do not punish them. Okay, we'll go to that. So I think we have to wrap up on Frimpong Boateng. We'll see in the days coming whether...
I think so, except to just chip in this. I mean, I've lived in this space for quite some time, so I appreciate how, you know, people who you are doing something on, let's say exposing from doing one thing or the other, without threatening they are going to court or actually even said, but possible to consolidate a this one are worried. Society, I'm saying, thing is concerned, and everything.
Yeah, we hope that the case out 3 or 4 years later when we've all moved in.
So,
right.
I mean, again, what from Paul Boateng to his public service used to that in this part of our world. Elsewhere, I mean, Barak of Egypt. We saw this. It doesn't happen in our system yet. That system is rotting to the core. We need to salvage it. We need people who are appointed into office. The word is stewardship. Who are appointed into office, not to have a sense that they are above the people. It's a position of privilege. But privilege. And I'm also happy that he's talking because he knows that speak to the people who matter, so that know that he is the man we knew before. So I think it's a good process for it.
Aren't we worried that to the president, how many Professor from Boateng would have to come and tell us that, do you know something?
This report said most were here saying
When did he do that?
Well, they
Because we wanted the president to act actions. It's not done there. He will get from Boateng, who knew a lot about the system, still knew a lot about the system. Our water bodies are being polluted or contaminated on water. The health effects will be serious. It's a like business. The state, I mean, the executive appears afraid because of politics, but there should be a body that will be clothed and protected enough, like the Office of the Special Prosecutor, with a person who is willing to work, who will go to the bottom of this and do it. So I'm sure Kissi Jabin will be showing the executive how it is done. And I hope that he does not relent, and I hope that he does it so he is fair and he is firm, so that we get to the bottom of this.
For me, I think that at the heart of Frimpong Boateng's document is the death of Major Mahama.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
In there.
The beginning.
Yes. I mean, Major Mahama is there.
So a lot of people are crying for justice.
Exactly.
A lot of people are crying.
You know,
exactly.
Young guy, I mean,
Very
brilliant
sad
military
one.
career. I mean, you speak to friends and then they tell you that, listen, excellent soldier. His life was cut short. All you hear is that, oh, the military hierarchy is deeply involved in there. And that there's a certain agreement that, you know, was signed with a private mining company, and, you know, here and there. And it's quite dirty. We need to get to the heart of this matter. And I'm sure the family of Major Mahama will be happy too.
So let's see how this whole thing pans out, and we are hoping that everybody involved there, those who should get justice, those who are punished are punished. Table fairly. Both parties. Is it a clear one for the MPP or the NDC?
You know, people can easily be swayed by goodies. So, I mean, for me, it's too early to call. We could have this discussion again maybe
Next week.
Next week thereabout, then it will look clearer.
Okay.
But I think the NDC seem to be playing, you know, on the emotions of the people. That, hey, you know what? These guys, they had the opportunity to do your roads for you long ago, build their agenda. That they didn't do it. And so already there inspecting projects, you are doing your people.
We were.
You know, government has found money
Baba,
and doing